which coach do you think enters the NFL season on the hottest hot seat?
Ooh.
I like that, Twig.
That's a really, really good question. And let me delay strictly because I have to figure out the right answer. And Connor just gave a big old point to Zito, and I think that would be the accurate assessment.
Whoa.
I think Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears are potentially on a very, very hot seat. They were good a couple years ago. Then all of a sudden, last year, they fall off of the earth completely. Now Nagy brings in another quarterback for good, healthy competition, which is obviously a sign of Ryan Pace and Nagy coming to an agreement like, hey, we need a little bit more out of old Mitchell Trubisky. Matt Nagy's recruiting Ted Ginn to come to the team. He has a lot invested. He knows that if he doesn't have success this year, he's probably at one-way trip to out of town, pal. And also, our guy, Matt Patricia, not only was he on a hot seat last year, I think I think he was rather surprised that he maybe got a chance to give it another go. But the Detroit Lions, 8-9 games last year, they had to lead. What if the Lions come out and go 10-6, 11-5 in that NFC North, who the king of the NFC North just tried to make their head quarterback or their number one quarterback franchise player as mad as possible? What if there's dissension in the ranks in Green Bay? What if Big Richard, Nick Foles, comes in and swings that thing on Mitchell and there's divisive in Chicago? What if the Vikings and Kirk Cousins somehow lose it, which I don't think they are. I think they're going to be much better, and they got very good at the end of the season when primetime Kirk Cousins was born. They lose. Obviously, Stephon Diggs, but bringing in an absolute weapon, Justin Jefferson. And what if the Detroit Lions are at the top of the NFC North? And I'll tell you what, if they're not, probably Matt Patricia's last year as a head coach for the Detroit Lions as well. So I visit straight to the NFC North and say, hey, these two coaches probably on the hottest seat. But everybody knows anybody can get it. Nobody thought Ron Rivera was going to get fired last year midseason. He did. True. Jay Gruden was gone, 3 weeks in? I mean, anybody can get it if you're starting to disappoint your fan base on a regular basis, and those two particular teams have in the recent memory.
I have, when I went through the list, maybe 6 more candidates, which is around them. Adam Gase.
Oh, yeah. But I think this is his first year, right? This is his first year, really, without having to be leveraged by the GM's decisions of the past. Remember? They signed Le'Veon Bell with the last GM. They do an entire draft, fire GM. Adam Gase is now in control, get the other GM. I think he has another year leash. I think he has another year strictly because the salary cap was messed up by the previous GM. But that's a good call, especially in New York City.
Dougie Marrone.
Doug Marrone would have to have success this year. That team, though, is trying to not have success. This could be a house of cards situation, and Doug Marrone's the front door of that thing, and they're just waiting to knock it down. And they're telling them, hey, we'll just lose this year. We'll get a good quarterback. I've seen this done in the past, by the way. I've actually been a part of it. And all these coaches buy in, and front office buys in, and then the owner fires everybody and says, well, we're starting new, pal.
Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn.
Yeah, he's for sure on there. You're 100% right. A couple years ago, they were in the Super Bowl. Now they're in the NFC South, which is a buzzsaw week in, week out. And we have no idea what Teddy Bridgewater and McCaffrey are going to look like in the same backfield.
This is going to be tough because I don't know if you can fire yourself with Billy O'Stitch. Maybe as a GM. GM hot seat.
But does he hire the next GM? How does that work? Billy O'Stitch has set himself up to be able to do whatever the hell he wants with no resume to be able to do whatever the hell he wants. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Billy O'Stooge listens to this show. I've been told that he potentially has heard a few clips and has been entertained, which, by the way, Billy O'Brien, we would like you as a human. When they did the behind-the-scenes stuff, he was a cool guy. But the moves he has made and the decisions he has decided to take are not great ones. And you would think that if there was any accountability that guy would potentially be on a hot seat. But they did make the playoffs last year, and they did lose to the Super Bowl champion inevitably. So he probably has a lot saying, like, we're a lot better than people are giving me credit for because I traded away our best wide receiver for a bag of balls.
And then the last one that I had was Kevin Stefanski because,
he's a Browns head coach. Easy come, easy go over there. You become head coach Cleveland. I was told by a prominent NFL coach that you haven't coached in the NFL until you've been fired from Cleveland. Is Kevin Stefanski the next one on that long list of failures for the dog pound? Or is he going to be the one with Andrew Berry, big old brain Andrew Berry, GM, that turns that entire thing around? They get a hardworking tight end that they pay a lot of money for. They obviously get OBJ and Jarvis Landry back. Baker Mayfield followed me on Instagram last night, so maybe he's starting to make good decisions. I mean, maybe that team who I picked to win the Super Bowl last year, who I won on national television and defended against a lot of haters who, by the way, they were 100% right, those people, what they were saying. Maybe this is year Cleveland Browns in the dog pound don't have to wait to chug beers in celebration as opposed to sorrows. This could be the year for the dog pound.
I actually like the Browns this year.
Me too. Me too, especially with Myles Garrett coming back off of that, parole. That could be great.
He just traveled to PA yesterday to visit a family that lost everything in a fire. So,
Myles Garrett?
It's nice to him.
Everybody has said, aside from the moment where he tried to murder a human on a football field on primetime television, good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, they said that about O.J. Simpson, too.
My God. We got to get to a break in radio. That unbelievable.
Nick.
Jeez Louise.